alongside Flora, I thought, great, I love to write, and then fell into a weeks-long procrastination cycle where I could not come up with anything meaningful to say. I considered all the advice I had gotten over the years from English teachers, and one piece of advice stood out: write what you know. And as Mr. Garner reminded me, I know stories. We grasp the hands of our mothers standing in front of the elementary school as we look onto a sea of kids. Some look the same size as us, others look so tall they could be adults at our height of 3 feet. All summer long, we've been told how fun school will be, how our kindergarten teachers will be nice, and how we'll make lots of friends. But as we hold on to our mother's hands, we can't help but think this nest that we live in feels quite safe. But as we are ushered to walk on, and as we do, we feel this feeling of trepidation that we don't yet understand. As dawn gets further from our view, we can't help but wonder, maybe it is time to jump out of the nest, maybe it's time for fun. The short classes fade into even shorter days, and we go throughout school learning the alphabet and our numbers and fractions. In a slew of field days and end of the school beach celebrations, we are suddenly rehearsing our 5th grade promotion song as we have high hopes for the next 3 years of middle school. We look down at the small kindergartners and wonder how we could have ever been that size, how we could have ever been so new to this school that holds years of book reports and all of our memories thus far. We feel uncomfortable in our limbs and our emotions. We smell weird and we don't even know why. We pull our big binders from the Egypt fair to long assemblies. We earn tiger points and learn to play the clarinet. Friendships feel explosive, whether it's just a vinegar and baking soda explosion or an atomic one, we can't be sure. Our emotions are omnipresent as we tour and dub. We look at these adults who have supposedly just graduated and know that will never be us because it's too far away. Our days fall into years, and suddenly we are sitting in this gym about to tour the high school. We've been there before for lunchtime or long-ago community dinners, but this ascent into high school feels much more present than it did the June before. Suddenly we are dressed as minions and greet a very sad homecoming float. We eagerly attend our first homecoming dance, and as if only minutes have passed, we are sophomores complaining about how freshmen walk on the wrong side of the hallway, and how that was never us. As we finally feel that we have a handle on high school, we are taking the SAT. We are told that junior year is the hardest and that we should be thinking to ourselves what we want to do with our lives. We are given a presentation on what we should be getting done over the summer to be ready for college applications in the fall. And suddenly, we sit to write our personal statement and we find we have nothing notable to say about the past 17 years. But we find words and we submit the applications, and after a dreary fall spent submitting those applications, we can only hope that one of our schools or programs we've applied to is right for us. We have our last homecoming and our last PJ day. Our earlier trepidation is mixed with exhausting burnout and hope that as we open one of our first emails, we finally find out where we will be in the fall. In a blurb, we submit another application or 20, hoping we'll find some financial assistance. We have our last prom, our last AP test, and submit our final assignment. And we're back at the school where we once held the hands of our moms, wondering how we could have ever been so impossibly small. The kids are only 3 feet tall, but they smile up at us nonetheless. Maybe we see a sibling, someone we babysat, or a teacher who started it all. Then we walk through the halls with slightly taller, much skinnier students that we have often seen going to lunch during their period, and we think back to that UW trip and know it happened so much faster than we could have ever imagined. Finally, we walk through the last 4 years of school. We see our beloved teachers, we see all the spirit days. We remember when Mr. Cullen and Mr. Garner would sing in the hall. We think back on the 4 years with a myriad of emotions. At the end, we see one of our juniors whom we hate to leave behind, but we will love from afar, as they have their last year next year. We sign the wall and know that while we may be gone tomorrow, we have at least one more year